Well, it seems like you're all interested in Hytera and the possible ban. I'm going to share some thoughts and address some community questions and concerns today on the possible FCC ban of Hytera radios. That's coming up right after this. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you've had a great week so far. So on Monday of this week, I posted a video on what I understood to be a possible ban on Hytera radios that may come from the FCC, based on an article that appeared in Reuters. Since that time, other members of the community have come forward and shared some more information, shedding light on the history of Hytera communications and maybe questioning whether a ban is actually in the pipeline. And it's been fantastic. I love that we're all kind of bringing something to the table. Some of those ideas I thought were worth addressing in a follow-up video. So today I'm going to go through some of the major points that I've seen come up in both my own comment section and on other videos to address them to the best of my ability. Now, first of all, is there a ban in place? No. There is not a ban currently in place on Hytera ham radios. Maybe I wasn't clear enough on this in the first video, but no. As of right now, when I'm recording this, October 25th, 2025, no ban exists against Hytera ham radios. Funny enough, it looks like a ban was placed against Hytera a year or so ago, April 2024, I think. But that gets into the weeds of their past and ongoing legal troubles against Motorola and the US government. From what I can tell, that ban was actually lifted by the court, so that's not in play anymore. Second, is a ban in the works? First of all, let me say, I hope not. Genuinely, I hope not, because I don't think bans are effective, and it smells of government overreach to me. I know there are different opinions on that, but that's my take. Also, if there is a ban, tell us why. A vague reference to threat to national security isn't good enough for me, and it never will be. Is the radio installing a rootkit when you plug it into your computer to program it? Or what about the software that comes with it? Is that a problem? Like, say something. They would need to tell us something like that, otherwise I remain skeptical. Now, in the case of TP-Link routers, Microsoft said that they were being used to deploy a botnet, and the federal government got a hold of that and then started discussing and continues to discuss a ban. We've had no such news of Hytera communications radios. Now, this is where things can get a little hairy, and a lot falls on the interpretation of what has been reported. So first of all, the items mentioned in the Reuters article that were removed from shelves and retailer listings were already on a U.S. list of banned equipment or did not receive FCC authorization. So those millions of items that Reuters talked about, already on the covered list or didn't have FCC authorization, okay? They fell into one of those two categories. Now, obviously, Hytera radios are still available for sale, so they did not fall on that list. The FCC sent out a reminder on October 14th about items that were banned from import on that list from several companies, including Hytera Communications. But most of these existing banned items centered around security cameras and telecommunications equipment that might be used for public safety or governmental purposes. No mention of two-way radios on the current covered list. Now, where there may be some disagreement, and what makes me concerned, is that on October 10th, Brendan Carr, who's the FCC chair, said that another decision was coming down the pike on October 28th. That's Monday. Reuters said that this would, quote, prohibit authorization of devices containing component parts that are on the covered list, and authorize the agency to prohibit the sale of previous authorized covered list equipment in specific cases. No specifics have been mentioned as of yet, but I'll be looking for that decision after the 28th and will report back here with what I find. Hopefully, things stay status quo, because I don't necessarily think they need to change in this case. So at the moment, I don't think anyone can positively say that no ban is in the works for Hytera radios, except for Brendan Carr himself. The FCC's page says that the current ban is for video surveillance and telecommunications equipment produced by Hytera Communications, used for public safety, security of government facilities, physical security surveillance of critical infrastructure, and other national security purposes. Now, that means, governmental stuff. And if the government says we're not going to use this and we're going to tell every other part of the federal government these are banned, we can't use, all right, fine. That's one thing. Now go back to what Reuters said, that the FCC would decide if they should prohibit authorization of devices containing component parts that are on the covered list. Component parts. How you interpret that determines everything, and how the FCC interprets that or defines that is going to affect everything. How small of a component would count? A speaker? A microphone? What about a microprocessor or an SoC, a system on a chip? What about a GPS receiver? See where I'm going? In my gut, I feel like there's a target on Hytera Communications. And many of you echoed the sentiment that if there is indeed a ban, it will be related to or justified by Hytera's pleading guilty to stealing trade secret information from Motorola last January. And those were felony charges too, according to a press release by Motorola, for which sentencing has been scheduled this November, so next month. Now, given the FCC's recent announcement, it sort of feels like there's this convergence happening. You've got the announcement, you've got the sentencing next month. I don't know, but Also, our federal government has a habit of using a sledgehammer when a scalpel is needed. I think we can all attest to that. Now, that being said, I hope I'm wrong about the ban. I truly do. I hope I am wrong. I hope there is not a ban. I hope we wake up on Monday or Tuesday and nothing changed. And that's not because I think Hytera is a great company, but because I think it sets a terrible precedent. And I fear it could have a chilling effect on the sales of other radios that have nothing to do with this, but would get banned anyway because of some undefined threat to national security. As always, respectful comments are welcome, so please do let me know your thoughts below. I'm Matt, and when it comes to tech, I've got you covered.